TWM podcast.
Hello, I am Matty Deller, and welcome to the World Wrestling Report, looking at the big wide world of wrestling, going from the armories to the domes of this fine globe. Yeah, we renamed on a whim because I thought of a name. I've always said, sidebar, I love the name indie wrestling, but I felt like it wasn't fair to call some of the companies that we cover indie wrestling, even though independent wrestling is not a bad thing. However, there are some companies that are a bit bigger that we cover than independent wrestling. So I was sitting there in my normal thinking spot, and if you are a male of a certain age, you know where that thinking spot is. And this came to me in my head, and we workshopped it, and we decided, yes, this sounds much more like what we cover on a Wednesday. So the Indie Wrestling Show, we hardly knew ye, in its place is the Wrestling World Report, reporting on the big wide world of professional wrestling. But we still love the Babyface app. It's on Apple and Google Play. You can go get it now if you're a British wrestling aficionado like yours truly, and my co-host, of course. You can get that and check all the latest things going on in the world of UK and Irish wrestling. Got two new sponsors. You would have heard them on podcasts previous, but we'll say them now as well. We are brought to you by We Love Sport. They are another fantastic app. This one lets you find your nearest sports bar, showing the latest WWE pay-per-views. They've got 400 of the best sports bars and pubs in the UK at your fingertips, and you can book front row seats as well, so you do not miss a thing, which is especially important on the road to WrestleMania. You can download the We Love Sport app on the App Store or Google Play Store, much like Babyface. You can follow them at We Love Sport UK and check out welovesport.co. Also, go and check out WrestleCrate. You can use the code TWM Wrestling for a free autograph item when you sign up for a monthly box. Use the code TWM Wrestling, as we said, at WrestleCrate.co.uk. Joining me as we report on all things wrestling from one corner of the world to the other, even though the world does not have corners, is Mike Mears.
Oh, okay. So we're differing on whether there's a flat earth or not. Because if it's a flat earth, it's got corners.
Well, no, because it'd be a circle still. It's a flat circle, if it was to be flat earth. And corners don't have circles.
You lay it all out. You mean circles don't have corners?
That as well. We're going to have Carl James joining us earlier as we go through some of the bigger stories in the world of wrestling. But before we do anything else, we actually have a pay-per-view to cover. So let's go and enjoy some hard time. So, with all the rumbles and worlds colliding that's been going on over this weekend, we've not really had time to have a separate podcast review of NWA Hard Times, which is a shame, Mike, because it was a ruddy good show.
Yeah, NWA knocked it out of the park again. Solid tournament throughout the show, really intriguing matches, and plenty of new champions.
Yes, indeed. So we go right into it. It was the NWA television title tournament was the main crux of the show, and all the matches apart from the final had the 6:05 time limit. So it meant the show went very quick. It was very fast-paced show for the most part. But they ruined it in the first round because they had Trevor Murdoch beat the question mark.
First round? You mean the very first match of the show?
Yeah. So the curtain jerker saw their best wrestler lose to Trevor Murdoch.
Well, exactly. What do they even know about wrestling?
Who did NWA ever beat? It does baffle me that the question mark is one of their most over talents, and you have him go out straight away. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, surely you switch it around and have someone maybe less than that's going to go out rather than. It's just, yeah, it seemed a waste.
I think I understand what you're saying, but I think also at the same time they're slowly but surely building everybody's, as over as he is, I think they're still adding more and more fuel to that fire, because everybody's got so much love towards him that when that eventual either face turn comes, or I think they'll do they won't do the reveal, because the reveal will be a big letdown. But when they do the face turn, then I think that's when all of these thing is gonna build up and be paid off.
Yeah. It just was a minor annoyance because we love him dearly. Another interesting one was Dan Maff going over Zicky Dice. Like, they've been pushing Zicky Dice quite a lot, and then they just bring in the big lad from Ring of Honor to go over him. This was probably my least interesting, like the match I showed the least interest in out of the first round matches. So
I think if they didn't have Dan Maff go over in this, then all the Ring of Honor guys would have lost.
So they had to pick one.
So I think it was a case of they were like, "Oh, we better give you one win," and they couldn't give. Well, they had another representative in this tournament, which I was surprised at, because I was completely unaware that Matt Cross had any links to Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I was shocked with that as well when they went, "Oh, Ring of Honor's Matt Cross." I'm like, is he? When did that happen? The match between Ricky Starks and Matt Cross was very, very good. Probably the best match of the first round.
Yeah, definitely.
I always pop for the Matt Cross where the post hold elbow. It's never not going to be cool.
Seeing him in general, because I've never seen any matches of his that have been anywhere near the same.
Yeah,
and
he's
always got something interesting to pull out of his bag.
It's just weird seeing this like weathered, grizzled independent wrestling veteran and thinking you're M-Dog 20.
Yeah.
from backyard wrestling, there goes the neighbourhood. Interesting thing to note, obviously you had Murdoch go over Dan Maff, go over Ricky Starks, go over Matt Cross, but then Tim Storm was meant to face Ken Anderson, and they did this whole big deal with Anderson winning the Battle Royal, betraying Colt Cabana, and is in his first round, and then Tim Storm gets a bye because Ken Anderson's not there. This is interesting, because then a few days later Ken Anderson was announced for that TNA throwback show, and I do believe Billiam Corgan has put on record that no one from the NWA will work for Impact. So is there shenanigans afoot?
Well, I just don't know.
It's very strange, just very, very strange. What I love about this though is that Dave Marquez talking to Tim Storm is like, I'm not happy I'm getting a bye, but it is what it is. Normally I swear faces go like, I'll take on anyone to be to face in the first round, someone comes out. Tim Storm's the only one who's like rational about it and goes, I don't want to get a bye in the first round, but I'll take it.
It's like, it'd be rude to say no.
We get the NWA Tag Team titles. Drake and Storm defeating the Rock and Roll Express and the Wild Cards via pinfall. You did call this, yeah. It was a good match. It was a bit of a mess towards the end, but it was a good match.
I don't know. I quite like the dynamic of how you very much seem to think that. Well, especially like the final sort of run where it just looked like. Wildcards were going to get the win because of like the sort of like the outside interference, but then it actually backfired on them, and then Drake and Storm won the titles from that. I like that part of it.
We saw a Gibson Destroyer, so
well, that's all we need in life.
That's all we wanted.
Clearly shows how ready for New Japan he is.
He is. When he wins Best of the Super Juniors.
They're wrestling Yano and Cabana tonight in Miami.
Oh, that is just obscene banter, and I'm all for it. Dave Marquez then interviews the new champions. Eli Drake saying they might not have a name, but you can call them new NWA World Tag Team Champions, and they have matching gear, so they're a good tag team.
That's the first start. That's the first step to an important tag team.
Then we get to, for me, the best match on the entire card.
I think it was a match that almost everybody wanted and cared about the most. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure when this finished, I wrote it down on the list of Deller for like match of the year coming to the end of 2020.
I'd agree.
This was a very good match, like just back and forth, like good, solid. If you're a fan of solid work ethic, solid wrestling, this is right up your Straza as Thunder Rosa defeated Allysin Kay via pinfall.
Do you remember the conversation we had last week about Allysin Kay being underrated or underappreciated? I now agree tenfold.
Yeah, I think she's one of the most underrated female talents on this earth. be it flat or round.
Or both.
Or both. Or neither. Could be shaped like a giant cat. It's just really, really good. Like, you had like working a body part, there was big moves back and forth. The end of it was a very New Japan based big move near fall, big move near fall, and then like Thunder Rosa won with the reverse DDT for the win, and then post match Melina and Marty Bell celebrate with their teammate after their victory. Marty Scurll then comes out and he goes all full bulldog. He's like, "Where's my title shot?" Nick Aldis appears and says he should put the title on the line tonight because the people deserve to see the NWA title on the line. And Nick Aldis interrupts and says Ring of Honor was the hot ticket and now NWA is the hot ticket because he is headlining.
Is that only because the Ring of Honor's tickets are like free?
Yeah, they're so hot that no one wants to touch them. That's what he means. He says if anything happens tonight, it's on his terms. He says he'll put the title up against Flip if Marty Scurll leaves the building and Scurll is stepped, so we have a world title match later on tonight. NWA tournament semi-finals. Trevor Murdoch defeats Dan Maff. It was an okay match. It was two big lads hitting each other very hard, so it was good.
I was kind of good watching Murdoch have that sort of match where his first round match was very different.
Yeah. Then we had the Ricky Starks defeating Tim Storm. This was actually surprisingly good.
Right. I think Tim Storm is one of these people that people look at and go, "Meh, he can't go or anything," but he can go. Like 52-year-old, 52-year-old fucking teacher from wherever he's from, he can go. Like,
yeah,
he's like nobody's business.
He hung with Ricky Starks tremendously here.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, I'm going to put my hands up here. Full disclosure, I feel like this is my heel turn on the first episode of the renamed World Wrestling Report. I fell asleep at the start of the Scott Steiner and Stevens match, and woke up during the Nick Aldis Flip Gordon match. So
clearly, when Scott Steiner came out, you didn't holler because you didn't hear him.
I did not hear him. No, I was
fair enough.
I snoozed and I indeed lose. So I'm gonna have to trust you on what happened here.
This is the worst part. So you haven't gone back and seen it?
I've not had time to. Yeah.
This is a nightmare because this has ruined the joke I want to make.
I'll laugh anyway. Make a joke. I'll laugh anyway.
Yeah, you're probably the worst person to make this to as well. You're aware of Kill Bill and Uma Thurman's yellow with the black stripe sort of jumpsuit?
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
So,
oh no, I saw the question marks bodysuit.
Yeah. So basically, I just need to know who wore it better. And is there really any sort of contest?
Well, one is a dynamic, beautiful, voluptuous sex icon, and the other one is Uma Thurman. So,
that's enough said on that.
Yeah.
It was very much. I've got a problem watching Scott Steiner at the moment because I can't watch him with a skinhead.
It looks really well. I think I fell asleep, and they came out. The match started, and then I fell asleep. So I did see Scott Steiner with a bald head.
Right. But he had it on the tapings, the last tapings he shaved his head as well, and it put me off massively then. And it did the same thing on this. It was a solid match. It was nothing too exciting. Steiner did have him beat with going for the Steiner recliner, but the question mark, saved his pupil, and they got away with a DQ without the title changing hands. Steiner did then take out the question mark and put him in the Steiner recliner.
Yes.
So maybe that's the big money match in the NWA now.
That's the match when they eventually debut at the Tokyo Dome.
Yes.
Scott Steiner versus the question mark. The people demand it.
In a ladder match.
No rope, barbed wire, time bomb explosion ladder match.
Kyle Fletcher's ass, man.
Kyle Fletcher. Oh, I maybe dropped my phone from laughing, god damn it. Then we got Nick Aldis defeating Flip Gordon. This was a really, really good match. But it was Flip Gordon and Nick Aldis, so I assumed
I've never seen Flip Gordon have a bad match, realistically.
Yeah.
And Aldis in the streak he's been on for the past 2 years, hasn't had anything near to an average match.
Well, I've not watched a Flip Gordon match ever since we stopped watching Ring of Honor. So I forgot how good he is. Yeah.
Yeah. And
do you see he flipped himself off?
Yeah, basically. In other words, injured himself. I think the thing with Flip Gordon is it's only really been about a year now that he's fully been a full-time wrestler. Instead of dealing with stuff from the army, taking time off when he could to wrestle and things like that. So I think that's really shown in his development the past year.
Yeah, he's really come on leaps and bounds.
With injuries.
I also like the finish that was the old Bret and Owen WrestleMania 10 finish, which was nice.
Yeah, the victory roll, but I think that's another good thing that the NWA are doing. They're not afraid to use iconic moments, but they don't overuse anything.
Yeah, I like the fact that Nick Aldis is winning a lot of matches by roll-ups. It does really play into his heel character, but it shows he's a good wrestler.
Yeah, but it's also very much like that classic traveling NWA champion where they would go around the territories and they would win matches like that.
Yeah.
So the way they're doing everything with the NWA is very old school. So I think that's resonating with a huge group of fans that are especially older fans who would have seen during the territory days, but also newer fans because they never got to see that.
Definitely. Then we got Ricky Starks versus Trevor Murdoch via pinfall to win the belt. This was a really good match as well. Like I said, it was very solid across the board. There's only one match that really kind of let the side down. Everything else was incredibly solid, if not great. These two went back and forth. It was another power versus speed match for Ricky Starks. Starks wins with the stroke because he's a massive Jeff Jarrett fan. But that's what he's calling his new move rather than the Buster Keaton because it makes sense. I can't remember what I said to win the belt. I think I said Ken Anderson, but that obviously he didn't even make the tournament, so what was the point? Ricky Starks makes sense as the first champion because he's just very, very good. He's money.
Yeah,
he's what, like, I think I tweeted last night when covering NWA Power, which we'll talk about in a minute, is that, like, how a company hasn't snapped it up, I don't know. Like, considering he was extra talent for WWE for so many years, and they did not see the charisma in this man, is just baffling, absolutely baffling.
The ridiculous thing is he was one half of extra talented, and he's proven that he is extra talented.
Yeah, no question. Quickly going to give a quick recap of NWA Power. Sean Mooney is on NWA. I was shook when that happened.
I'd seen that they tweeted about it during the day yesterday, and obviously you hadn't seen that, but I was intrigued to see how it was going to go, and I think it went quite well. Yeah,
it did. It really, really did. I just love Sean Mooney. He's gobbledygooker set for action. Royce Isaacs, bomb half of the Cup Connection, defeats Andre Gunn, the lesser-known son of Billy. We also had Ricky Starks defeating Zicky Dice via pinfall to retain the belt. We then got...
I thought, is Andre Gunn the love child of Billy and Chuck?
Yes, he is. I was going to say the love child of Billy Gunn and Andre the Giant. We then get an absolute insanity of a segment. James Storm, Eli Drake, Aaron Stevens in the What's Jackie Chan? What? It's just it was. A couple of weeks ago when Eli Drake was shit-faced cutting a promo.
Yeah,
James Storm was hammered.
This only makes me think like James Storm, like when he gets hammered, like around after shows or whatever, he just goes around telling the worst jokes.
Yeah,
and I'm all for it.
I just also I love that Aaron Stevens keeps a straight face and James Storm is just mooing in his face.
And then finishes the interview with them as well.
Yeah, just goes and walks off.
I also like the way that Aaron Stevens had tied his black belt so that there was one end that was ridiculously long that he then put over the question mark's far shoulder to show off the 3 stripes.
And then also the fact that he did a sexy dance.
Oh well,
just it was insane. And then we go from that to, I think, like this week, I wasn't on Raw Talk, but WWE had one of their best ever in-ring segments with Edge and Orton. The end of Raw. Don't know if you've seen it. Like, if you haven't, go scope out just the last 15 minutes of Raw this week. It's genuinely, like, not even good WWE stuff, like good TV storytelling they did on Raw this week, which would I imagine leaves you shook. However, this pre-recorded segment between Aldis and Skull was so good, so intense, but so personal at the same time.
Everything about the start of it just set the whole tone and the mood for what was going to come. And I think I love that part of it. He's like, well, of course, Aldis had asked him to come back to the show after the show, which meant Marty would have hung around for all of the show outside, and then gets called in, and then like, oh no, I'll make him wait a bit longer because I'm the champion. And everything's on my time. And
I love the old school stipulations of like, I get all the purse. Like he gets the entire purse, even though it's not about money for Nick. It's like, I get the whole purse.
It's not.
The Crockett Cup. It's gonna be at the Crockett Cup. I love the cheeky plug as well. The cities, you can bid for it now if you want to get the Crockett Cup.
That's kind of smart because all the cities bid in effect for like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, because like the economical value to them, and they're trying to make this match as it's probably the biggest match they could do realistically, other than doing Aldis versus Okada in terms of like stature. But like, this is the biggest mainland America match they could make.
It's like, I want to see which morally WWE have called the market on Saudi Arabia. What morally bankrupt country can sign up the North Korea?
Fuck it, they'll go to Qatar. They'll take anyone.
Tom could be Tom could be the ring announcer. And then if Skull loses, he has to refund the entire crowd. And it was just, so well done. And it just putting over Aldis as such a dickhead. I did love the bit. I will say a little bit the Skull being like when Aldis like, you take everything from me. You are happy in the Ring of Honor. I finally get my due, and then you come and take that. And then Skull goes, I was wrestling for 30 quid in England while you were the TNA World Champion. What are you talking about? It's just I really like how both guys had like real points, real valid points. They were saying as well. I even like the shit face, the shithead sort of comments that Aldis was making, where he's like, I want to retain the title with no shenanigans, no outside interference, no skullduggery or any of that. And it's like, but he's looking dead at the camera, like straight faced at that point, and I'm just like, this is perfect. This is exactly how you should be. It's just, it makes you hype. Now I'm like, would I ever be that bothered about an Aldis Skull match a couple of years ago? No. Now I'm like, no, I really want to see this. Really want to see this. It's going to be really, really good. That was NWA this week. It's just absolutely captivating stuff. And roll on the old Crockett Cup, and roll on more Sean Mooney. God damn it. Here's one question. Just pop into my mind. So, the fun of the TV title was no time limit, but the title match that we had on TV this week was 6 minutes and 5 seconds. So, is it going to be 6 minutes and 5 seconds going forward for all title matches, or is it just when I think it's on TV in air quotes? It's going to be 6:05. When it's on pay-per-view, it's going to be no time limit. Or like a 60-minute time limit, that seems to make sense, like, because it fits in with the branding. So, but they never explained it. No, I reckon they need to have some, like, Stu Bennett down the line needs to be like, it's a 6:05 time limit on TV, but on the pay-per-views we have a bit more time, so therefore we can have a 60-minute time limit on this match, that sort of thing. So another thing that came to mind, but they did explain the Lucky 7 concept, where if a champion defends their title 7 times, they get an NWA title shot, which is... Would they bring that up?
They brought it up during the match against Ziggy Dice.
Oh, did they? I must have missed that. That's quite cool.
That could be quite fun and also if the TV champion goes to a time limit draw, that counts as a successful defense in their 7 defenses as well.
It's simplistic things that work so well, and that's what the NWA are just brilliant at.
Well, with that, there's a rule, and you know how, and you can follow it quite easily. And with it being 7 defenses, you could realistically, that's 2 months, which would go between pay-per-views. So you could build somebody through 2 pay-per-views, even longer.
Just would like to let you know that indie wrestling show is brought to you in association with the Babyface app, available on the Google Store and the Apple Store. Now, what is the Babyface app? Well, if you're a British wrestling fan, it is the only thing that matters. Want to check out what the latest shows are in your area? The Babyface app can do that. Want to check out the win-loss record for your favourite wrestler at the moment? The Babyface app can do that. Do you want to bring back the glory that was the Origin Banter Edition? Sadly, Babyface haven't got that kind of sorted out yet. I imagine it's in the beta state, I can be assured. But if you want to check out any of their matches from Progress or anywhere else past, you can check it out at the Babyface app. Also, you can read loads of articles from loads of esteemed wrestling personnel, including ourselves, TWM. You can check out all of our BritWres articles in one easy place, and that is the Babyface app on the Google Play Store and Apple Store. MLW Fusion starts off with AJ Kirsch hyping up the crowd, but then Contra interrupts and we see an awful photo that is apparently Davey Boy Smith Jr. being attacked at a hockey game by Contra, but it looks like a bunch of dads fighting.
It was lots of blurs, wasn't it?
It was yeah, someone doesn't know how to use their camera. All I could think of is just a bunch of people. Have you seen that meme where it's like the dad starts banging on the hockey glass and it breaks? And she goes, "Way to go, Paul." Yeah, I will send you it, and it is literally that. It's MLW.
All I can say is it looks like that person in Canada. Clearly, they've still only got the potato phone.
Also, it's really funny. Why does the Hartford Nation only seem to do their outdoor promos in a hockey rink? Teddy Hart did one. Now Davey Boy Smith.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just stereotyping.
Maybe Teddy Hart, I don't know, training golfers. I want to say. I don't know why I'm saying golfers.
No, that is a very Teddy Hart thing, to be training golf players at a hockey rink. And that's the nicest thing that we can say about Teddy Hart. Joseph Samael then says Dallas was a place filled with false idols, and that wrestling's Camelot, which is apparently Dallas, it actually is Romford if you look at the level of wrestlers coming out of here, will fall at the hands of Contra. Heart Foundation run off the lads, including Brian Pillman, who attacked in disguise. I just wrote down dressed like Schmitty at any Progress show.
Yep, he was he was undercover, wasn't he?
Yeah. Schmitty dresses at every Progress show like an undercover cop. Backstage, we see Injustice interrupt Conan, and Conan just roasts them. Just Chris Brown on crack, looking ass, popped me massively.
Yeah, Christ, he did let rip, didn't he?
And I do hope that Injustice end up in AAA, because
can you imagine them like going for like the trios belts?
Yeah. We then see a triple threat tag match as Drago and Puma King defeated Taurus and Lowrider, and Jordan Oliver and Koto Brazil. Lowrider has a very long robe, and Puma King's theme played even longer than his rope. It literally looped 4 times.
Well, you know, he was busy bouncing on the ropes, wasn't he?
Yeah. Doing cat things. A lot of stuff.
Isn't it weird? They didn't do anything with Teddy Hart and Puma King.
What, Teddy Hart keeps trying to train him, and he's like, "No,
yeah.
I know how to wrestle, sir." Lowrider. Yeah, I was about to say the same thing I just said a minute ago, but I'm going to say that a lot of stuff opened up this match because it was all very luchatastic and springy things. We get a springy plancha from Lowrider. Taurus basically just kicks the shit out of Drago and Puma King. And for like, Christ, he hits hard.
Yeah, you know, he hits like I would imagine a ball would. Yeah,
that's why I'm also loving him in Impact, because we're getting the Zoo division in Impact, because last week we had Taurus versus Moose versus Rhino, and I was genuinely overjoyed with that. Injustice works over Lowrider with double team moves, and Puma King gets a hot tag. Puma King hits a Samoan bomb and a backstabber combo meal with Lowrider. Taurus gets flipped about. Myron Reed tries to interfere, but then gets dropped by Drago. These guys are going to face each other for the middleweight title next week. Jordan Orbit, it's a nice like tope cutter, which is really, really cool.
He is such a cutter pervert, isn't he?
He is an absolute cutter sexual deviant. Koto Froggy gets broken up. Taurus and Ryder kill Oliver with a top rope powerbomb lung blower. Taurus fisherman bombs Koto on the apron, and then Drago does bite of the dragon pin for the win. Great match. Really, really loved it. Really, really good.
It was a good introduction to like the AAA guys.
Yes. Davey Boy Smith then talks about the Opera Cup in his very strong, slightly dull Canadian accent. Says it means the world to him, and he hopes the Stu Hart is looking down on it. I was going to do this in Canadian accent, and I realised I put down the hope Stu Hart is smiling down on him, and I put in brackets bold assumption. To assume that Stu Hart is looking down on him and not looking up.
Smiling.
Or smiling, and he's not just stretching Satan. He did it for the fans and the love of wrestling, and he said this is a stepping stone to the top of the MLW ranks, the title, and called Tom Lawler Tim Lawler, which made me laugh.
Yeah, that did make me laugh. I was just like, this is a pre-tape. You could have redone that final bit.
Or maybe it's just shown how Canadian he is. He was thinking of Tim Hortons when he said Tom Lawler.
That would make sense. Yeah, but he doesn't say A enough, though.
Yeah, and doesn't apologise. We get the Contra propaganda video, and he says the Hart Foundation is scared. He challenges Smith to a no holds barred, no rope, no rules winner declared by knockout or submission match against Simon Gotch, where Simon Gotch, I imagine, is going to get the shit knocked out of him. We then get low key over Chandler Hopkins, and they go, yeah, Chandler Hopkins, one of the guys from AAA, and I'm like, is he though? I don't believe you.
Just because he went there, like he drove somebody to AAA to wrestle, doesn't mean he's from there.
They're like, he's wrestled with AAA. I'm like, he looks like he maybe like I don't know, has like been picked up by AAA for his car breaking down, or maybe he goes, shit, I'm wrestling in Texas again. Like, it doesn't seem very luchador. It might be, though. I've never heard of him. This was really good, though. I jest. Chandler Hopkins actually surprised me how good he was wrestling alongside.
Incredibly over.
Yeah, especially alongside wrestling. I think he must be very big in the Texas area, bordering into Mexico, those border towns. So that's probably why. Like, these two went hold for hold. It was really, really cool. Kia, big kick, and then chops and strikes. Hopkins hit a Rana, and a very cool outside-in rolling flatliner, which was nice. He missed the shooting star press, and then Loki just choked him out with this weird leg trap, rear naked choke thing. It was really, really good. We see Davey Boy Smith Jr. again. This time he's dressed like a chav, as he says he hasn't forgotten about the fireball Contra for at Teddy Hart, and he accepted the challenge, and he said Gotch's choices are to get knocked out or tap out. I hope everyone here likes Alicia Ratu, because we're about to see her 46 times in the next 20 minutes. Jesus, like literally they could have spaced these out better and not just had 6 Alicia. Nothing wrong with Alicia. Alicia is a fantastic interviewer, but my god, it was literally, here's an interview of Alicia, here's another one, here's a third one, here's a 45th one, here's a one standing on her head. So she interviewed Dominic Guarini and Filthy Tom Lawler. Lawler explains that Guarini has joined Team Filthy to join the Spirit Squad, and I would hope now that they now switch gimmicks, and the Spirit Squad are dressing in geese, and we have Dominic Guarini dressed as a cheerleader.
We can only hope. We can only hope that'll happen.
And he reads out all of his accolades, and I love this because Alicia goes, well, welcome to MLW, and he's like, actually I've been here for months and I've been on a pay-per-view, Alicia, but everyone forgets about me because of all the fucking luchadors and the Von Erichs.
Basically, he's not wrong, is he?
He's not. But then Tom Lawler says they've got some sponsors deal with a stiff competition to make sure that they're staying up with their erect penises because they're sponsored by Condom Depot. I would never buy a condom from a place called Condom Depot.
I think it's actually it's a callback to like UFC stuff, because Condom Depot were like one of the first sponsors of the UFC. Like back when they were like more or less like outlawed.
Is this an actual company?
Yeah, legitimate.
Right, I need to Google this. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to say you're a liar, but you're a filthy
There
fucking
may not
liar.
be any more, to be honest, but like back in the day, they were like one of the big UFC sponsors.
Condom Depot. Fuck me, actually, is a... Jesus, there's a website. If you... Hold on. If you need to purchase condoms, check out our selection of great fans at affordable prices. We are the online condom specialists. Shall I read the Trustpilot reviews of Condom Depot?
Definitely. We'll save it for the end.
Yeah.
Pick one and we'll read it at the end.
These are great. Anyway, so yeah, he interviews. Then she interviews MJF and talks about his huge bodyguard. Before this, I did love that he goes, "Hello, Alicia, who I've never had any sexual interaction with." I just want to put that out there. No reason to say that, other than just to annoy / try and make Alicia laugh.
And everybody else laugh.
It was brilliant.
Because we know what he's like.
Grogan Logan Schmogan's with him, and he says he's the fastest rising star in professional wrestling, and he's going to prove that Marshall Von Erich is less than him, and then calls out Mance Warner. So there's your, I'm guessing, your food for MJF on the way out. And yeah, then we get more Alicia Atout interviews Jimmy Havoc and Priscilla Kelly. She asks if they're scared about the barbed wire match, and he says no, because they live and breathe violence. And Havoc says this is just a normal Saturday night to him. No, because there's no glass if you kicking. There's no cab for you to kick through the window of to try and reason with a cab driver. He says he likes causing pain to someone else, and then called himself insane and wants to drink Mance Warner's blood. One last little bit of Alicia Atout. She stands with the Von Erichs as they crush apples in their hands and warn MJF that this is his future. They discuss their grip strength, and I wrote down their wanks must be a struggle. Don't tell me that's not what you immediately thought of.
They somehow knock themselves out while wanking grip too hard. That is.
They've snapped several orchestras of banjos. Oh, good lord. Then we get the barbed wire match, Mance Warner over Jimmy Havoc. There's not much you can really say about a barbed wire match. It was good. It was a very, very good match, but it's every barbed wire match. You tussle towards the barbed wire. Someone
just insanity, isn't it?
Yeah. Havoc goes into it first. Warner then busts him open with it. Havoc then suplexes Warner into the barbed wire and works over his knee. We get staple guns. I did love Jimmy Havoc ripping off Mance Warner's shirt that he wore over the top and going, actually, it's quite cold in it, to be fair, and then stapled the shirt to Mance Warner's back.
Yeah, he cares about people.
I love that Jimmy Havoc decides to just put in a sarcastic stand-up routine in the middle of his death match. So then Jimmy chops off some barbed wire and wraps it around Mance Warner's head, neck and mouth. Barbed wire baseball bat, but then Mance turns around and hits him in the dick clip, so then Havoc staples him in the dick. We get a Warner chokeslam onto some upturned chairs, which I know Mike makes him cringe every time, but I fucking love that spot.
It's disgusting.
I love it. Havoc DVDs Warner into a board for a near fall. We get a chokeslam through boards and tape and chairs for a near fall. Jimmy goes for powder, thrown back into his face, and then Warner hits a pile driver into the fray. Not the band, just the stuff on the floor for the win. It was good, and it was a good way to write Jimmy off. So good to see.
No, Jimmy's on the next taping.
Oh, is it MJF who's wrapped up now?
MJF's gone.
Right. So that means so MJF was cutting
in Brian Pillman.
Yeah, MJF was cutting promos about people he's never going to feud with.
Well, this is only the first show from Dallas, so he probably wrestles him in the next couple of weeks. I'd say, because the Fightland tapings is, I want to say, February 1st or 2nd.
Yeah,
I want to say. So it's actually this weekend.
Shall I read some Condom Depot reviews to wrap things up?
Definitely.
The first one, I'm not going to give names out, but it's from the 28th of November. Ordered several products, received the wrong items. I keep trying to contact them with no response. Save your money and order from a company that will give you order. From the 4th of October. Discreet and fast.
Was that application of said condom? Yeah. Or sex with the condom?
I could put the condom on very quietly and very quickly. 17th of August 2019. The expiration dates of the condom I received were just 6 months down the road. Drugstore condoms have expiration dates that are 3 to 4 years away. Always delivered in a discreet, timely manner. Best options for condoms and lube.
Good to know that they're the best option for lube as well as condoms.
This is true. Box was supposed to be discreet. This man ordered a lot of lube.
No, there was a box that just said, includes condoms because they're going to be shagging.
It just be like that. Box was supposed to be discreet, but it wasn't. The shipper and any nosy neighbours might have been seeing the box that would have known exactly what I purchased. Why does that seem like... And I don't want to judge. That seems like a man that has bought small condoms and doesn't want anyone to know.
Well, as if, like, ironically, the box has got, like, the word small condoms in, like, the biggest font possible.
Tiny dick written on the front. The home of the Tom Lawler Dojo.
TWM podcasts are brought to you by We Love Sport, the fantastic app finding you your nearest sports bar showing the latest WWE pay-per-views. We Love Sport has over 400 of the best sports bars and pubs in the UK at your fingertips and allows you to book front row seats, giving you the best views of the action. You can also check out what sports are being shown over the next 7 days, making sure you don't miss a second of the action. Download the We Love Sport app on the App Store or Google Play Store. Follow We Love Sport on all social media platforms at We Love Sport UK and check out welovesport.co.
TWM podcasts have joined forces with WrestleCrate, the original and best monthly themed monthly wrestling subscription service to bring you a fantastic deal. Now, if you use the code TWM Wrestling when you sign up to a monthly subscription at WrestleCrate.co.uk, you will receive a free autographed item inside your first crate. Now, WrestleCrate brings you the best swag from the biggest companies and names in the wrestling world. We're talking t-shirts, photos, pins, DVDs, vinyl figures, and loads more from WWE, Progress, Shakara, NXT, Fight Club Pro, and loads more. That's WrestleCrate.co.uk and use the code TWM Wrestling for a free autographed item, all thanks to WrestleCrate and TWM.
Let's take a look at some of the other shows and stories from the world of professional wrestling. And joining us to discuss all of these things and give his input in, please welcome Kyle James. Hello there, Kyle.
I'm back.
He's done the page. He's done the I'm back page thing. Anyway, good thing you're here, because we're about to discuss Attack Pro Wrestling, and that is very much your bag. The first annual Embassy Bingo Kate's Invitational Classic with cheese took place this weekend, and it was won by that dastardly Connor Mills, Michael. It was won by that naughty boy.
Very much dastardly, but very, very well deserved. Like, he'd easily wrestled close to an hour, and he was just outstanding all night.
This is where I might myself look like a fool here, because I'm going to ask, but then again, I'm pretty sure at one point sometime last week Mike was like, I can't make a insert show here, and I can't remember if it was this one or not.
It was. He even messaged me earlier in the day being like, oh, will you send me results? And then about a half hour to an hour later, whilst I was queuing, this fucker turns up, and I was like, I didn't trust you.
Why is our friendship all based on lies? We all do it. I'm not going to this show. Psych, I have no self-control. I'm at this show.
Well, originally I wasn't supposed to be in the country, so...
Oh yeah, he was meant to be...
No, he had logistic reasons.
Yeah, he was
It was a logistical nightmare.
Yeah, he was off planning Super Showdown for WWE.
I was supposed to be on my way to beat everybody up in the NWA for the question mark not winning the title.
Yeah, but then question mark phoned him and just said karate, and Mike calmed down.
I thought we were just going to get then the reveal that Mike is the question mark.
No, we did it before. Didn't we say he's the semicolon?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Kyle is the ampersand.
Nope. Backslash.
Oh yeah, the backslash, which for some reason sounded worse than it actually should do.
Which is totally my brand.
Yeah.
What was your favourite match in the tournament, Kyle? Out of there's a non-tournament match as well, but we'll come to that at the end. But what was your favourite match in the entire bracket that you saw?
Has to be the final. I think I said to Mike a couple of times that I legitimately had goosebumps during it. Although that might have been now due to the fact that we know I've come down with an illness over the last 3 days.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Is now straight.
Yeah.
Well, at least you two acknowledge it's an illness.
Right, no, not me and Kyle, definitely not Kyle. Me and Mike are the last two people not to be cancelled in Brit Rest. Don't start saying this.
Look, I'm trying hard to.
We're trying to. If we're going to get cancelled, we're getting cancelled on something major, not something as small
Well,
as.
at least you're getting cancelled by your own people.
Yeah, it's fine. Carl was cancelled many
Well,
months
it
ago.
won't be a hate crime that way.
It's fine. It's a love crime. Mike, what are we talking about? What was your favourite?
My favourite match. Right, I'm going to go on to my favourite match in just a minute. I want to draw attention to a travesty that happened, an injustice, I may say. Basically, we should get injustice in Attack because they wouldn't stand for this. So, first match of the night in the first round, Shea Purser defeated Curtis Chapman. So, like, it's not so much the defeat; it was that Shea Purser jumped Curtis Chapman before the bell was rung, and then this was a very short match, roughly around about a minute. But
Not even that. It was like 15 seconds. Mike, stop being generous.
Shea Purser jumped and attacked an unready opponent in Curtis Chapman and cheated Curtis Chapman out of winning this tournament. So. I'm still not quite over it. So it was a bad weekend for tournament.
The truth, Mike. Stop half-assing the truth.
It was a bad weekend for tournament. The
Chapman was like trying to like aggravate Shea. Stop half-assing it. Chapman deserved what was coming to him.
However, I will say this: did Shea come out to my sacrifice?
No, better. Well, the second time he did when he advanced.
What was the first one?
Over the last year with the Cabal, he's been using Year Zero by Ghost.
Yeah.
We had the same intro, and after the intro, it immediately cut into my sacrifice. We were like, ooh, that's amazing.
He should keep that full stop, though, I think.
Yeah.
It'd be brilliant if you could mix it. It was like, it's Mordian, it's Rallo, my friend, we'll meet again. Really weirdly mix it in. Anyway, Mike, your favourite match from the
favourite match was the final. It was a perfect match for a tournament where Kyle throughout the tournament clearly had his back worked on and his arm, and that just continued all the way through this match with what Connor Mills did. It was just a perfect tournament, and they'd already wrestled twice and gone at least 10 minutes, and then this match went well over 30 minutes. I'm pretty sure Kyle wrestled over an hour on that night, which is incredible.
Also,
Danny Luna versus Valkyrie was fantastic.
I was going to say, I'm very jealous because you guys got to see Valkyrie, and I'm still.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only person left out of all of us that have not seen. Actually, no, me and Mike saw Keitel. We've seen Debbie Keitel wrestle.
Yeah, I'd seen Valkyrie a few months back on Fight Club.
Yeah, so you've seen both White Queens. I am yet to see Valkyrie, and Valkyrie's probably my favourite out of the two. So I heard that match was brilliant. So I'm hoping she's at the show next week. I'm hoping that she's.
I doubt it.
Yeah,
part of me doubts it only because, and this sounds quite shady the way I say it, One Attack book female talents, most of the time it's against either another female talent, or they do what they do with Danny Luna and put them in a match like where it's multiple people.
Yeah,
but we've already got Danny Luna and Millie McKenzie both on the same show.
This is what I was going to like. I think Lawson, our friend who's been on a podcast before, did turn around and say he'd really like to see Valkyrie face Brooks in his final match in Attack this year on Wednesday. That would be nice because it would be a nice. I think he mentioned it would be a nice callback to Brooks against Nixon. So, but
yeah, but we all said that with like the Brooks Millie thing as well, like many moons ago.
It's going to be sound like it was an interesting show, no question. But we've got big news to discuss from Japan. It happened earlier today at a special press conference. It was announced that Noah's Noah Global Entertainment Company is now fully owned by Cyber Agent, which sounds like something from the Terminator, but it's not.
No, it sounds like a pop-up you've got, like, to give you internet security. Hey, do you need internet security? Use Cyber Agent.
I think it's something it sounds like a VPN that a YouTuber would sell.
Yes.
10% off by using the code FLANGE. With 100% of the shares being transferred from Lidet Entertainment. The interesting thing to note is Cyber Agent also own DDT Pro. That means that Sanshiro Takagi, who is the president booker, I don't know what to saying of DDT, is now the president of Noah. Literal opposite end of the spectrum.
It's just insanity. Isn't it? Yeah. Like, the show that's on Thursday morning is actually going to be streamed on DDT Universe as well, which threw me off guard massively when that got announced. They
also said that they're going to work with Noah on their VOD service, and maybe we're going to get a Noah VOD service down the line.
They're both running Korakuen Hall on following consecutive days in November as well, which we could see cross promotion shows as well.
And the long term aim is to get back to the Budokan and Tokyo Dome, which would be great. It'd be great for Japanese wrestling to have both to kind of have both Noah and New Japan running the Tokyo Dome. It'd be really, really cool. Also, a Beamer TV will stream Noah shows regularly as well, which I think is an online TV platform in Japan, if I'm not mistaken. Because I know they run on Samurai, don't they? They have 1 hour shows on Samurai.
Yeah.
But a Beamer TV. I think Samurai's basically the Japanese wrestling channel, isn't it?
Pretty much.
I'm pretty sure they have Stardom. They have All Japan, maybe.
They don't have Stardom.
I'm pretty sure they've got a bunch of them. They're like the Fight Network thing of Japan. But this is like big, massive news. And the interesting thing to note, reading notes in the press conference, it looked like that last year Noah were in pretty dodgy financial dire straits, and I'm pretty sure they didn't say in uncertain terms, but I'm pretty sure they said that WWE went in with an offer to buy them, and they told WWE to fuck off.
So, don't forget, Noah were bought out last year.
Yeah, from New Japan. Bushi Road were on the cusp of buying them, and then because that's why they were thingy, weren't they? What was it? They were teasing the Okada Marufuji stuff between Noah and New Japan, and Noah's basically going to become a subsidiary of NJPW, but alas, it was not to be.
Well, no, they were bought out because we had the rebrand, didn't we?
Yeah, they were bought out, and then the companies had transferred them over to Cyber Agent, and it looks like Cyber Agent are going to make a play for Bushi Road. It's the Puretsu Wars between.
It's amazing how all these Japanese companies have just said fuck you to WWE.
Yeah, like that means now there is a massive.
There's no chance WWE get into Japan now.
There is a quote unquote Eastern Bloc, if you will. For WWE. We're going to go to news over this side of the pond in the UK. It's been a busy week for Progress.
Well, because of their 15% off sale.
Yeah, no, it's been massive. That's what like Kyle's going to do a 30-minute speech on the deals you can get on Progress's website, or we could talk about William Eva and Chris Brooks.
Let's do that instead.
So, William Eva's been suspended for 3 shows after the last chapter, Dalmatians, where Eva performed a fallaway slam on the OGMO into the audience, where apparently he did not give any spectator any warnings at what he was going to do. Also, he nearly killed Mike.
Yeah, but like there was no mention of that incident with like the damage to the ballroom, and some people were like physically affected by his microphone and speaker issues as well.
Yeah, I feel like they went for the smallest incident out of the 6 that Eva did. Progress in their statement said, "We acknowledge that this was not a deliberate attempt by Eva to endanger those fans in the immediate vicinity, and thankfully nobody was hurt as a result. However, we do feel that on this occasion, not enough care was taken to ensure those fans were aware of what was about to take place. We have spoken with Eva about his responsibilities as a wrestler and trust that it will take his time to consider how he can perform to the best of his abilities in the future. So he's missing the Cardiff show, the 103 and 104. So are we back for 105?
Yeah, which is the show at the end of April.
Yes, that's that.
Because let's be fair, we all know he wasn't going to Tampa.
Well, yeah. If they count that, they are full of shit.
The weirdest thing was, though, like, they'd announced him for a match at 102 in Cardiff, and we still don't know who's replacing him.
Yeah, because
that match is even still happening.
There's 6 matches announced. That's it. And actually, tell a lie. There's 5, and they've said that all titles are on the line. We're gonna get to it in a second. But like, thoughts? Was that fair enough? Do you reckon they went a bit? Because a lot of people online were like, "Where's snowflakes?" Da-da-da. I think it was a fair enough punishment because he was a fucking liability on that show, in my opinion.
This makes me think.
I think it's fair.
This makes me think, though, the reason they've done it as a free show thing is possibly they've got some plans in the works for DNR and Eva at Strong Style.
Yeah.
A free show ban brings it up to roughly that. And I was thinking, if you've got that plan for the big weekend, you really can't put it that far back.
I'm telling you this now, and I'll put this down because I feel like it's shitty PR move. Eva's going to be in Super Strong Style because of this. They're going to put.
I thought he was going to be in general because he is like the heat magnet for DNR in general. Yeah,
he is, because I'm not going to lie, we were all pissing ourselves laughing at Eva at that show. Didn't realise how I did. I thought that maybe. I didn't see the fall-away slam. I assumed that he told them to move, and the guys didn't, so therefore he went, well, it's your own fucking fault. I didn't realise that he didn't say anything, even if people have said that he did, blah, 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 so on and so forth, snowflake, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's just... And then it's brought the worst... Like, the one I'm most upset in is fucking... And we love him. Like, me and Mike often talk about how much we love Sebastian, Tom Irvin, the geezers. They're like one of the reasons I got into British indie wrestling were those two. And Tom Irvin's just made himself look like a prize prick on Twitter.
Yeah, he didn't need to just get involved. Like,
mocking disability,
trying to be funny, just like doubling down and just making himself look worse through it.
Sebastian used to take the piss, but he knew where the line was, which is bizarre to say for Sebastian. Yeah, whereas and also he was crazy about it. He was very much. To put it this way, Sebastian was very much a mock the weak air of Frankie Boyle. He knew where the line was, but he knew how to tip it. Tom Irvin is very much after that, where he's just saying offensive things for the sake of saying offensive things. So, yeah. But that's not all. If you watched last night's Chardon stream, Chris Brooks made several barbed comments towards Progress management, saying that he's not booked, that apparently the new era doesn't fit him in it, and he finds it quite funny that they've now got Cara Noir as their champion, even though he had to practically beg them to book Cara Noir on their show. That was all. Until Kyle came on online today and uttered... What sentence did you utter to us, Kyle?
I think my exact words were, "Sorry I'm late, guys. I've been reading Glenn Joseph's Twitter feed." Glenn Joseph then responded, "Okay, Chris, I'll bite. Being as an edgelord online is more important than to you than actually replying to your, in air quotes, friends. Or is that just a term you use while you're getting booked? Not like I bent over backwards to get you booked in the first place, eh? You're welcome." But that's not all. Oh God, is that being a follow-up in like the last 10 minutes?
I do believe Chris Brooks has tweeted.
He has.
"Edgelord, grow up, Glenn. You've got television to write, and that makes 2 of us who bent over backwards for people Progress didn't get. Then CC Cara Noir, you're welcome." Oh God.
This is really going to end well. Do you know what I would genuinely love? If Brooks just turns up, Brooks on the Schadenfreude Boys just turn up outside Progress on Sunday.
In a tiny tank like Sammy Guevara did. Royal Rumble. Oh, yeah, it's just... I don't know how to
messy.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this because what it seems like is Jim's left and the gates have fucking opened. And it's
all gone to hell.
And we liked that first show, but apparently Jim was the thing that was stopping it from all going to fucking pot, PR-wise, for Progress, because in a week they've had to suspend one wrestler and Chris Brooks has put them on blast online. Oh,
so, some could argue the fact that they did the reverse battle royal is the reason this has all gone to pot.
Yeah, they gave Glenn what they wanted and the power's gone to his fucking head. Like, I don't feel there's a side really to take on this, is there? Like, Chris, we don't know who's telling the truth. That's the problem.
Yeah. Like, my opinion sort of thing is, how can you look at Chris Brooks and not go, oh, he'd add something to my card, no matter how long he's been involved with your company?
Yeah, and at the same time, Progress is saying, well, we've got nothing for you now, but you're a commodity, we will use you down the line. Or they saying, there's no point booking you on a show right now because we're doing storytelling and you're going to Japan for a year, so why do we need, like... It's again, like you said, it's all a big mess.
But on the flip side, is he going to Japan? Was that part of his decision because he was told they didn't have anything for him?
That is true.
Like, we just don't know that.
Anyway, Chapter 102 is this Sunday. And the card looks pretty good. It's probably going to have more added to it by the time this goes out, but the card does look pretty good. It's got Chris Ridgway against Elijah. That'll be very, very good. Elijah making his debut, of course.
Yeah, great to have that.
The Progress title match, Paul Robinson versus Danny Jones. You got Progress tag titles, Jordan Devlin and Scotty Davis, aka Kyle's mental screensaver, going up against the Anti-Fun Police in Cardiff, so it's going to be insane. We got a three-way title match for the Progress Women's title as Ginny defends against Giselle Shaw and Danny Luna. We've got Ilya Dragunov against Mark Andrews, and Cara Noir is meant to defend the Progress title. We don't know who that will be yet. I imagine that will annoyingly be announced immediately following this podcast recording.
No, they're announcing the Super Strong Style, the next entrant, at 7 p.m. It's currently 6:11.
Oh, okay, so that will be announced just after this finishes.
My clock says 6:10. One of us is lying.
My clock says 6:10. You're a minute ahead. You're a time traveller, Michael.
I'm always in the future.
Two quite sad stories. Justice Payne passed away this weekend at the age of 41. He began his career in 2000 in CZW alongside his brother Nick Gage. Everyone tends to forget that they are actual brothers, Nick Gage and Justice Payne.
They got different surnames, can't be true.
Payne is his middle name. He won the CZW Iron Man title.
What, so he's Justice Payne Gage?
Yes. Of course he is.
That makes it worse.
He won the CZW title at Cage of Death 2, both times beating Lobo for the belt. He won the CZW title 5 times. He wrestled for XPW and wrestled Chris Candido in their last ever match. It's weird to hear Justice Payne wrestling Chris Candido. He then wrestled for them up until his retirement in 2007 and wrestled for Big Japan Pro Wrestling. 41 years old, though. It's no age whatsoever. Yeah, obviously thoughts go out to the family of Justice Payne. He's one of my first memories of CZW. Him, Gage, Nate Hatred, Toby Klein, Necro Butcher, all that stuff. That Cage of Death where Necro Butcher lost his shit and started punching people. And in particular, I don't know if you remember this, this was a Justice Payne spot. Someone did a suplex on an upturned chair and the lip of the chair caught him directly in the ribs, like in the side of the ribs.
Oh.
It was one of those things I remember. And of course, obviously Zandig shouting out Justice Payne's name in the promo, but thoughts and prayers go out to the family of Justice Payne. In New Japan, this is really, really, like, it was worrying to begin with, and now it's obviously quite concerning. Kota Ibushi was off the one of the shows for the New Japan tour due to...
Well, he's off the whole tour.
He was off the flu, and then they've announced he's got Mallory Weiss syndrome. He's going to miss the entire tour. It's hard to say. I don't know if it's Weiss or Weiss. I'm saying Weiss.
It's Weiss.
And this is an issue where there's a tear in the membrane where the esophagus meets the stomach. So basically it's caused by trauma to the chest or stomach, violent vomiting or heavy. So basically he's like torn the membrane in his chest. probably getting the piss beaten out of him at Wrestle Kingdom. He said it's not a long-term issue, but it's rare for a male under 40 to suffer from it. But he says most tears will heal within 10 days, but surgery is sometimes required. So he's out of commission for a while. That's obviously speedy recovery to Kota. That's a very, very worrying situation there. New beginning in Sapporo is this week. Is it this weekend? Yeah, this weekend.
Yeah, it's this weekend. Starts on
Friday.
Saturday morning.
Oh, is it? It was Friday. Starts day one's Friday.
No, it says the first.
Oh, okay.
Well, the first is the first day that's been streamed on New Japan World.
See. Night one, you've got Tiger Mask and Imura against the Bullet Club. Tenzan Nakanishi and Tsuji against Hinare, Makabe, and Honma. Sho, Will Ospreay, and Yo against and Taguchi, against Suzuki-gun, Dookie, Desperado, Kanemaru, and ZSJ. Robbie Eagles and Ryu Lee against LIJ, Bushi and Takahashi. Bullet Club, Jay White and Kenta against Bushi and Naito. The Dream Team of John Moxley and Okada against Suzuki-gun. Tomohiro Ishii versus Evil, and then the Never Openweight title match. Hopefully Shingo beats Hiroki Goto for the belt. Then day two, you've got Hinare against Tsuji, you've got Tenzan, Nakanishi and Tiger Mask against Makabe, Honma and Imura. Gabriel Kidd makes his New Japan debut against El Phantasmo. That's
everyone's favourite dickhead.
What, Gabriel Kidd? How dare you? Since the turnaround from him getting picked up by Shibata, and I think someone said maybe
that was May last year.
Yeah, he's on from May last year to having his debut match for New Japan in January. So he must be very highly thought of already.
Yeah.
You got Chaos, you got Goto Eagles and Ishii against Bushi, Evil and Takagi. Roppongi, he got Roppongi 3K. I just realised this team. I am baffled. Kyle,
it's interesting.
Kyle, picture this team. You got Roppongi 3K, Taguchi, and John Moxley.
Unorthodox, but I like it.
An unstable madman alongside John Moxley and Roppongi 3K. Suzuki up against Suzuki-gun, Dookie, Despi, Suzuki, and Kanemaru. Bullet Club, Jay White, Kenta, and Ishimori against Takahashi, Sanada, and Naito. The British Heavyweight title match, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Will Ospreay, and then Taichi versus Kazuchika Okada. I'm very interested in actually both those main event matches on day two. Taichi and Okada will be very, very good. And ZSJ against Ospreay is going to be ZSJ against Ospreay. So, actually,
it will be insane.
We've got you can check out a preview tomorrow, courtesy of our New Japan correspondent Kieran. He's previewing the Sapporo shows. Go check them out at twm.news. There's a whole bunch of wrestling also happening this week. What did you say, Michael? Sorry.
Oh no, I was just going to say, relating to New Japan news, the first match has been announced for the Ring of Honor show WrestleMania weekend that's going to have Marty Scurll versus Jay White. Oh yeah,
because Marty Scurll came out on the New Japan USA show, didn't he? And made the old challenge, if you will. A lot of wrestling happening this weekend. You got the Square Go on Sunday, one of my favourite events from ICW. I'm not gonna lie, this card looks pretty banging. You got Kaylee Ray and Angel Hayes against the Woke Queens. You got for the tag belts, you got the Purge against the Fight Network, and I do love me some Liu King Sharp. He's just brilliant. Leighton Buzzard defending the Zero G title against Leon Thompson. You got I wrote a name down.
Is he bringing his sync?
I hope so. I bloody hope so.
That's okay.
Is it Evil who's the? Because I remember she changed her name from Jokey. It's Evil, isn't it?
Yeah, Evil is women's champ.
Yeah, going against Isla Dawn. And the match I want to see, my boy, I love him dearly, Stevie Boy defending the ICW title against Noam Dar. That is going to be brilliant. Such a good match. Did everyone see the video of the Bucky Boys reuniting?
Yes, amazing.
They are they were one of the first things that got me into ICW. I fucking love the Bucky Boys so much, and I proper marked out seeing when Aspen Fay? No, it was Lewis Gervin put the photo up of the Bucky generation of all them together. I lost my shit. It was so good. And they've got the Square Go as well, which is always really, really fun. So you got BT Gunn, Grado, Andy Wild, Sammy Callahan, Wolfgang, Ravy Davey Boy, the 99. Look, I couldn't remember what the names of the people in the 99 were. Alexander Dean, Alex Zayne, 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 Alex Z More Than Hype, Kid Fight, Lewis Gervin, Aspen Faith, Kez Evans, The Kings of the North, featuring Adam Maxted. So actually, it should be a really, really good show. That looks like ICW are kind of on the mend from being the quote-unquote trainee division they were last year. Looks like a really, really good show. You guys are at some wrestles that aren't progress, aren't you, Michael?
Yes, we are. We're taking the long trip up to Liverpool, and we're going to add a stop in on the way back in Wolverhampton on Friday.
Look at us saying that we were going to stop going to Fight Club Pro. That's changed.
This is opportunistic, if anything, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on the way back, and we were like, well, we might as well.
When in Rome, I think the kids say.
Yeah. You're going to see Charlie Evans in a death match as well at DOA, which is fun. So that'll be good.
Don't forget,
Ricky Shane Page is going to be there, and also another Tournament of Death winner in Jimmy Lloyd. Going to be insane.
Jimmy Lloyd versus Sasha Moff Martina, might we add?
Yes, exactly. How could anybody not get excited for that?
Also, Kings of the North versus somebody in non-tournament action.
Oh, that'll be good. Sounds good. We'll be talking about that, all sorts and stuff and things next week. But that is your lot for the Wrestling World Report this week. If you want to get in touch, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at TWM Wrestle, Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Acast, TuneIn, YouTube, all that good stuff. If you want to subscribe, leave us a rating, review, and download. Check out the New Japan preview up on twm.news. We've got loads of stuff going up there all the time as well. Make sure that you go download the We Love Sport app and get involved there. Go check out any big pay-per-views that you want to go and see. Babyface app and WrestleCrate.co.uk. Use the code TWM Wrestling to get a free autographed item in your next box. Kyle, social media.
No.
Okay. Michael, social media.
I don't know. Just follow Tony Deppen. You know,
cool.
Good lad.
I'm at Matty ID. We are at TWM Wrestle. Thank you for listening to the World Wrestling Report. Go support your local wrestling. Go to independent wrestling and just enjoy yourselves and be nice to each other. We love you all. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll speak to you again soon.